you were to look at a picture of the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, you would not believe it. Well, the Ocean Recovery Alliance and Doug Woodring is here to talk about that and what we can do about it. Doug, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
So the great big Great Pacific Garbage Patch, it's real, isn't it?
It's real, but it's not a island like a lot of people think it is. You might have heard it's twice the size of Texas or some continent. And that actually is true, but it's not a solidified mass, otherwise we would have cleaned that up a long time ago. The problem is that this is pervasive everywhere in literally millions of square miles in that part of the ocean where the currents accumulate debris. The sun breaks plastic down, but it doesn't biodegrade, and it gets smaller and smaller, and the little pieces are what gets into even the smallest organisms out in that part of the ocean. So think about cleaning that up. Think about all the animals that mistake that for food in the food chain, from the whales down to even the jellyfish. And in the ocean, there's no body count. And it's hard for us to tell. This has been sort of brewing and growing, accumulating under our watch. It's snuck under the radar until now we're really realizing that there is no way. And things that you saw go out the river, blow away into the beach, they actually have to go somewhere. And they either sink or end up on another beach or out here, and this is what we're trying to draw attention to.
Well, Doug, I live in the Seattle area, and in the Pacific Northwest is absolutely gorgeous, and there's a place on Whidbey Island called Evie's Landing that to me is my favorite place. And I was out there not too long ago, and washed up on the shore was garbage, 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 plastic.
Right.
And I didn't think that the Great Pacific Garbage Patch was anywhere close, but I guess it's everywhere, huh?
It's everywhere. All parts of the world use plastic as a material. I think our waste management capacity and operations worldwide, coupled with recycling, don't meet the same scale of our consumption patterns. So the graph is greatly disparate, and we're using a lot more than our waste management can handle, or we're not doing it in the right way. What we're trying to show, even with the Rethinking Waste group here, the Clinton Initiative, that this is secondary raw material. It's not waste, it's a valuable resource. As soon as you can put a value on this to be recycled, to be reused for fuel, then you get an economic cycle that can be sustainable because someone has a reason to pick it up and bring it into someone else to use it. And that hasn't happened on a big scale yet enough to keep it from getting in the rivers and the oceans, and that's why we have this problem pretty much around the planet right now.
So the Ocean Recovery Alliance, it sounds like the focus is not just this Great Pacific Garbage Patch, but it's all the garbage all over the world that's
Well, that's correct. I mean, when you think about plastic, the ocean is unfortunately downstream from everything. So all of our garbage will end up there if it gets into the waterway. But there's plenty of cases where people have died from trash getting stuck in drains. Bangladesh, Manila, India, the garbage gets into the storm drains on huge rains they have, and people drown. Agriculture gets impacted because in the aqueducts in Bali, you've got plastic bags that get stuck in the aqueducts, and the farmers don't get water. So it's not just about the ocean, but that is really what we're using. It covers 2/3 of our planet. We all like it, even if we don't live on it. We're all related to water, and it's very, very important. I think the interesting thing about plastic versus carbon is that we can see, touch, and feel it, and a child can see it, and it's something tangible that we all can really make a difference with. We're not saying that we shouldn't use it, because there's extremely good, valuable properties in having it, but unfortunately it's cheap, it's lightweight, and it's highly durable. And those are the reasons why we've got the problem, because it hasn't had the value, it floats away or blows away, and the durability is what now we're seeing is that it's really in our ecosystem, and in a big way, and since it doesn't biodegrade, this is something we really need to start to manage in a different way.
At CGI 2010, a year ago, you announced 2 projects. One of them is called the Plastic Disclosure Project, and the other one the Global Ocean Alert System. Let's talk about the Plastic Disclosure Project first.
Sure. That project is similar to that of the Carbon Disclosure Project, which 10 years ago, when the Kyoto Protocol in Europe in particular had signed on to trade carbon, That was driven by the asset management world, the investment management world, and said, wow, if I'm going to invest in your company, I'd like to know what your carbon footprint is. So if there's liabilities there, now there are disclosure projects for water and forest products. And we believe that by having plastic as one of the materials, again, we're not saying don't use it, but we're saying let's do it efficiently. There's 5 ways that we can do that in a big scale. Less waste. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit, blatant waste within the supply chains. Better recycling programs, getting people to bring it in and reusing it. More recycled content in the material that you make. Better design, more long-term use, renewable use or lightweighting, and new materials. And so any of those 5 areas are which probably almost any company, whether you're a consumer goods company or even an airline or a car company or a hotel, has some use of plastic and could probably think, wow, I can make a difference in doing that. And we're really trying to bring the asset management world into realizing, wow, this is something we could look at when we're doing our ESG, environmental, social responsible reporting mechanisms, and there's a lot of opportunities from this.
So I've heard the problems, and thanks to pictures, I've seen the problems, but I'm asking you, who's positively responding? Because are they saying things like, wow, I've got to work on non-communicable diseases, I've got to work on ceasing smoking, I've got to work on poverty, I've got to work on fill in the blank, I can't work on garbage?
Well, unfortunately, as President Clinton even said last year, trash is one of those unsexy things which kind of gets, no pun intended, pushed under the carpet. And it's not clean tech, it's not carbon issues, it's not climate change, and it's been forgotten. But this is one of the most biggest pieces of the environmental puzzle, because it impacts health, it impacts the poverty and what you can get out of the water, how you clean things, what you drink. If we can start with something as simple as plastic, which is floating debris at many times, and it's pretty easy to recover from the water as opposed to chemical pollutants, it can get us started thinking about the watersheds in a much different way, whether that's river, lakes, or the ocean. And I think the interesting part about this is this material is a very consumer, in many cases, oriented material. So it's something that we all can see, touch, and feel, and purchase or reuse or decide to make a choice about how to take it somewhere. What we need to do is drive that mechanism. Everyone has to be involved. The governments have to do more to help with the transportation and aggregation of this material to the person who's made an investment in this new recycling technology. I know a company, global company now in Asia, looking for 1,500 tons a month of garbage to make a new product out of. And they're sourcing the world for this material,
looking for garbage.
Or LLDPE. And we had a session here at the Clinton Initiative yesterday at lunch. It's called Waste to Wealth. And again, this is the whole thing. If we can get companies wanting this material and they R&D'd it and said, wow, I can blend this and put 80% now into my new products, that is a great story. And therefore people around the world can start saying, wow, let's segregate that. Let's get it out of the waste stream. Let's put the food on this way, because then you can compost the food much easier. Yes. If you separate this from the wet waste, it's going to make everyone's life easier for all the other recycling and reuse. So
there's economic opportunity in garbage. There are jobs in garbage, and today as much as any, everybody around the world is looking for that.
That's correct. The recycling has very big job opportunities, because you need people to do many different things in the puzzle. If you landfill something, you need 2 people, a truck driver and a guy to open the gate so you can drive the truck into his pit. With recycling, you need people to sort it, gather it, maybe blend it, chop it up, put it in a new machine, sell it, repurpose it. There's all kinds of opportunities with that, regardless of whether it's plastic, paper, aluminum, glass, metal.
So it sounds like there's lots of low-hanging fruit in this.
Lots of low-hanging fruit. We just haven't sort of said, hey, enough is enough on what we've been doing. Again, everyone's been happy going in their directions, and we haven't sort of taken a big view and said, wow, we're doing something to our planet. Now it's time to shift that gear.
Besides Bill Clinton, is there a global leader that everybody knows that person's name that is saying, yeah, this is a big problem and we got to fix it?
Not that I know of in this issue and this topic.
So there are, this is the kind of thing that there's a big education program, I guess, going on through the Ocean Recovery Alliance.
That's correct.
Very good. And the Global Ocean Alert System, as we wrap up, tell us what that is.
Sure, that actually we've renamed that as the Global Alert, and it's focused on floating trash. We're building a global web-based platform to link all the world's rivers, coasts, and waterways on a map using community reporting with GPS, phone, photos, videos, so people can see the issue, share it with the right people, and then solve that. And if you can't see something on the map, the beauty with global mapping now is you can see things from a distance in a macro way that says, wow, that's in my zone. I didn't realize that. I don't go biking there, I don't go boating there, I don't go fishing there. I didn't know that's in my backyard. Now we put that on a map, and it gives empowerment to local community groups or governments who can say, gee, I didn't realize those hot spots were in my area. Let's get out there with a boom. Let's get the fishermen out there. Let's collect this before it goes into the river, into the ocean. And if we do that, we have, again, recycling starts being motivated, because if you're getting volumes of debris every week when there's a flood, you get on the phone and say, where's the guy who's got the truck who can go to his recycling? And so again, that can drive jobs and opportunities while cleaning the waterways at the same time.
Okay, so I'll tell you what then, Rainmakers is going to make a promise to you. We'll be touching base with you about this time every year to see how it's going, and maybe we can help get the information out there.
That'd be great. Look forward to it.
Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.